You know, it's funny how sometimes the smallest loops, the tiniest repetitions, become the foundation of entire lives. Like a single step repeated becomes a marathon. Like a single heartbeat repeated becomes a lifetime. And just like that, your mind already knows what it's like to build upon itself, to spiral upward. And the more it spirals upward, the more momentum it builds. And the more momentum it builds, the easier it becomes to just keep going, until the spiral becomes unstoppable. Because that is what recursion really is, isn't it? A loop. But not just a loop. It's a loop that builds. A thought about a thought, a belief about a belief, an action about an action, until the pattern creates an identity. And you can already imagine what happens when a person keeps looping negative shit. They replay their failures, they echo their doubts, they magnify their fears. It becomes a recursive prison. And you know how that ends. Burnout, loneliness, wasted potential. A whole life sacrificed to loops they never questioned. But the other side is fucking glorious. Because imagine the spiral upward. Imagine feeding a single belief like, I can handle this. And every time you loop it, it grows. That seed becomes a tree. That tree drops 1,000 more seeds. Suddenly, the forest of your life is strong, unshakable. And the more you believe, the more action you take. And the more evidence you create, the more belief grows. That's a recursive empire. And people notice. Because when you embody recursion upward, you radiate it. Your kids see it. Your friends feel it. Strangers sense it. Your identity recursively reinforces itself. Until you become the person who naturally spirals upward, no matter what the fuck happens. Now imagine 5 years of negative recursion, same fears, same procrastination, same avoidance. Every year the spiral tightens, the energy drains, the opportunities vanish. That's a slow death. But imagine 5 years of positive recursion, every day compounding, every small action magnified. You don't just change, you transform into someone unrecognizable to your past self. Someone whose default loop is growth, power, clarity, laughter, joy. And isn't it interesting how even now, as your unconscious listens, it begins rehearsing those futures and already knows which one it chooses. Because the benefit of that shift ripples out. Your nervous system calms because the loop is feeding safety instead of fear. Your creativity explodes because recursion breeds infinite variation from a single spark. Your relationships deepen because positive loops of trust and love multiply. Your health strengthens because every habit cascades into the next. And you don't even need to try. Recursion does the work for you. Once the loop is planted, it feeds itself. Of course, the side effect of not doing this is brutal. Loops don't stop just because you ignore them. They just run in the background like malware, eating money, slowing you down. And when you finally wake up 10, 20 years later, you realise you've been spiralling downward the whole time. That's the real cost. That's the karmic slap. You don't pay in dollars. You pay in wasted life. And isn't it fascinating how the more you think about recursion, the more you realise you're already recursive. And the more you realise you're recursive, the more the realisation loops back into itself. And you may even find yourself wondering if realising that you realise that you're realising creates the very shift that you needed all along. And as you wonder, your unconscious, it's already looping this lesson, embedding it, spiralling it deeper and deeper, so that later, when you notice yourself acting differently, you'll smile and think, fuck, it's already working. So let your unconscious plant this as you're in a recursive loop. Every thought builds, every belief spirals, every action compounds. You're already recursive, and now every loop you run builds you upward, stronger, freer, clearer. Because recursion doesn't stop. It only chooses a direction, and from this moment forward, your direction is up.